Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot coming at you with the Weekly Comic Book Roundup. We've covered this week's Marvel books, and now it's time to move on to the Distinguished Competition. Kicking things off with Batman and Superman World's Finest, number 8. Where we left off, Batman and Superman had discovered a superhuman had arrived on us from another dimension, from Earth, but not not the Earth but again, from a different dimension, and he has superpowers. He's acclimating, and Batman, Superman, Robin, they're all trying to help him acclimate. In fact, Robin has introduced him to the Teen Titans. It seems to go fairly well. He's working on controlling his explosive abilities. Though Wonder Girl, Donna Troy, thinks that something feels off. And insists that he ID kept on him. Later, while dealing with a volcanic eruption, Batman calls Superman about a situation in Gotham City. The Key has taken over the city, and using a gas has managed to make everyone afraid of doors and windows. And so Batman and David, or Kid Thunder as the Titans have started calling him, go to help. However, the key is not exactly easy to find. Superman is sent after the key, while David is sent after some miners outside of Gotham in a coal mine. Batman has to talk him through using his powers to open the door. But he can't do it. He's afraid of setting off the methane in the coal mine. While thinking back on what happened on his Earth, he goes back and does the right thing, and manages to get the miners out. But Blue Beetle arrives with an antitoxin for the Key's for an antidote for the Key's toxin. Batman and Superman go to investigate the Key's hideout, finding it abandoned and the Key gone. Supergirl explains survivor's guilt to David, and also says, if you need someone to talk to, I'm here. Just let me know. Meanwhile, the Key goes back to his employer, explaining that he didn't expect that Superman or his new sidekick would complicate matters. And we discovered that the Key was hired to attack Gotham for a massive amount of money by the Joker. And that is where the issue ends. I was at first I was thinking this was just a little miniseries, and I'm honestly glad that it's not. It's definitely one of the better books that DC's putting out. Moving on to our next book, we've got Catwoman number 48. Where we left off, Dario Tomasi, who had been kidnapped and looked to be pretty close to getting killed by his ex-boyfriend, who's taken over as the heir to the Tomasi crime family. And so Catwoman and Valmont have gone to Italy, where to fix things at the Tommaso estate. But Catwoman pleads her case. But things are not looking... It turns out that the plan is to turn Dario over to Black Mask. But when things aren't moving swiftly enough for Catwoman, she basically goes to the Plan B mode. Turns over control of the Tomasi family to the Don's young wife, as the Don is older, can barely talk. Valmont arranges a quick getaway through his former associates in the League of Assassins. But they decided to liquidate Valmont. He fights them off in the plane. There's one parachute left, and Valmont insists that Catwoman basically grab onto him as they parachute out. When they land on an island, they kiss. That is where the issue ends. Interesting. I am enjoying this Catwoman run. I'm not too fond of Valmont, but what can I say? I ship Bat and the Cat. So, moving on to our next book, we've got I Am Batman number 14. Where we left off, it seemed as though Batman in the Question had discovered what's Anarchy's murder. The explanation being that Anarchy was working with actors by Danny Chan. Chan was killed. Anarchy was looking into it. However, it turns out that Danny Chan was also a CI for the NYPD. But part of it, one of the people in the actors group he was working with and informing on killed Danny, and when Anarchy started looking into it, killed Anarchy as well. This leads to Batman in the Question duking it out with the activists and taking them down. In Queens, Jason's sister, the new friend of Jason's sister Tamara, who's fallen back in with the gang she was running with, is told to knock over a bodega. When Tamara shows up with some screamer sticks and a mask, gets her to run, and then goes after the gang, taking them out quickly. Until the cops show up. She, to get from Detective Chubb, she knocks her in the mouth and gets knocked in the mouth as well, but still manages to make it escape. Elsewhere, Renee talks with Hadia, kind of say, that she's not taking the NYPD commissioner job. She's going to stay in Gotham. Batman arrives on the scene in Queens, and Chubb asks about the costumed crime fighter that hit her. Detective Whitaker starts talking to him, and some reason, Whitaker has a yellow aura around him. But basically, asks Batman various questions and ends up calling him a coward. The aura, I know the aura, it wasn't there, but then it is, so it seems like it's important. But after Whitaker calls Batman a coward, Batman takes a swing at him and keeps on swinging. Well, also on the last panel, on the last page, Chubb's eyes are shown to be glowing. So another reason to bring up the aura. That is where the issue ends. Interesting. The scene with Chubb was also quite interesting. Even with him bringing up various things, asking him why Batman, asking, are you trying to sully Batman? Are you trying to make Batman look bad because things got hot in Gotham. You ran to New York. Superman offers invites you to join the Justice League's whole Dark Crisis thing. You turn that down. Hence calling Batman a coward. Moving on to our next book, though, we've got Nightwing number 97. Where we left off, Nightwing had managed to take down Blockbuster. And Blockbuster was promptly killed by Heartless. At the Bloodhaven PD, Boss Maroni is in an interrogation and wants his martini refilled. Commissioner Sawyer and I can never remember and Detective Turpin. They're not entirely happy about the fact that Maroni was brought a martini in interrogation. At the morgue, Nightwing and the mayor, his sister, are looking at the corpse of Blockbuster. The mayor does kind of see it as a win. Blockbuster's out of the picture, but Nightwing would prefer he do time. But Turpin and Sawyer reveal to Maroni that everyone that Maroni screwed over was kept track of by Blockbuster. So Montoya is going to take him to Gotham for safekeeping. The information is passed along to Nightwing, and Nightwing explains that they'll be GCPD will be protected by the Bat Squad. But of course, a move is made on Maroni, and it turns out that one of Montoya's men is one of the hitters being brought in to take down Maroni. But Nightwing and Batgirl take Maroni and go into the Gotham woods, where Batman maintains at least 3 satellite bat caves. Maroni's tied to a chair and then taken out with a tranquilizer. And the next morning, there's a cab waiting outside for some reason. The driver of the cab claims to be Rick Grayson and needs Nightwing to get in the cab. That is where the issue ends. Okay, well, that was unexpected is putting it lightly. Wonder how that's going to be explained, that Rick Grayson exists separately from Nightwing. Moving on to our next book, though, we've got Batman the Knight, number 10. Where we left off, Bruce and Ghostmaker were forced to fight one another to be Ra's al Ghul's right-hand man. Bruce wins. Ghostmaker is exiled. But Bruce is paying attention, and he has a plan. And after earning Raish's trust, Bruce basically blows up the Lazarus City, and explains that he's not. He's the son of a doctor. He's not. He wants to save lives, not take them. Everyone in the Lazarus City manages to escape. Batman and Raish have a sword fight. However, before Bruce can leave, Talia runs him through. Ghostmaker returns and saves Bruce, patches him up, and they make their agreement. And Ghostmaker explains his plan. He's going to go city to city and save the world. But Bruce tells him to stay out of Gotham. Bruce returns to Gotham, reunites with Alfred, who's exceedingly pleased to see him, and begins to plan things out. And the issue ends with Bruce beginning to explore the caves underneath Wayne Manor. And that brings the series to a close. I really like this book. So we've had Batman Year 1. This feels more like Batman Year -1. And it was great. I feel like I would even go as far as to say that while I initially did have some questions as to the canonicity of it, I'd say that those questions are gone. It's canon. Moving on to our last one for the moment, we got Batman One Bad Day, the Penguin. So each of these focuses on a specific bad villain having one bad day. The concept that's come about through the Joker, I believe. The Killing Joke, at the very least, the Killing Joke made it as well known. But the basic idea is that everyone is one bad day away from being the Joker. That was what Joker was trying to prove in Killing Joke with Gordon. All it would take is for Gordon to have just one really awful bad day, and he'd snap. So this is not set in any particular basically, this doesn't work with any of the other Batman timelines. Penguin has been deposed. He's outside Gotham, buys a gun, cheap, $20, gets one bullet. Says he's going after the Umbrella Man. Walking through Gotham, he sees how things are under the Umbrella Man. Stops off at the apartment of his former chief of security, who betrayed him. He wants what's left of the money. Well, Max goes to shoot him, gets shot instead, and so now Penguin has to go with 3 bullets and $10. Batman is hovering over the city in the Batplane, listening to the police scanner, trying to figure out where he's most needed. But Penguin ends up going to various associates. One opts to join him. No one else does. He manages to recruit a second henchman when he goes after his lead henchman. But his lead henchman, he ain't having it. And Lily, who used to be his enforcer in his early days, takes on the lead enforcer and his goons. But the nephew of one of them shows up afterwards and gets hired on gets brought in as the next henchman. So the whole thing is Penguin has been thrown out of power, and it's his rise back to power. Kind of feel like a bad day. I feel like the bad day was what happened before, but and a lot of it's just kind of, and by the end of the story, you have to wonder if how things worked out was part of Penguin's plan, because what happens is he goes to a banker, he goes to the his money launderer to retrieve $250,000 he had stashed with invested through him. But the money is now Umbrella Man's, so. But he gets the money. He goes to buy some guns, which means a woman named Frida and her girls. The launderer goes to Umbrella Man to explain what happened, gets killed, and after Penguin leaves from speaking with Frida, his Umbrella Man's people show up and turn her place into a bloodbath. Frida and a handful of her girls survive and opts to take Penguin up on his offer. They attack. They attack the place, and Penguin fights the Umbrella Man after getting kind of a bit of a beating from him. But well, as he puts it, Umbrella Man's a man. Penguin, he's always been an animal, and he tears open Umbrella Man's throat with his teeth. It ends with Batman visiting Penguin months later, as they ran into one another during the initial fracas, and kind of a hey, we had, we said one night. It's been months, and like yes, some things are back to the way they were before. That's what I promised. But I'm liking. Overall, I'm liking these One Bad Day one-shots. The Two-Face one, like I said, the lack of the obviousness of the ending was kind of lame. But other than that, it was still a good story overall. The Riddler one was good, and so far we're batting 1,000 on these. But anyway, that is going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal account in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.